We can meditate on His strength and ask Him for that strength in the time that we doubt. The things that He asks us to do, sometimes it's a little bit hard in yourself, but you can say, God, you need to give me the strength in this. Here I am, Lord, I will obey, but I really need you through this because I can't do it by myself. And God says, like He did with Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, there will be an angel and He'll strengthen you. God will come and strengthen you without a doubt. See, even what's placed before us, even things that He may ask you or someone puts upon you, sometimes feels so overwhelming. And sometimes we fear the very thing. But you know what? It seems times it's hard to bear, but God will always bring it through because He's the God of the Word. It says in the Word that He will never tempt you beyond what you can handle. So if you're going through some hard times or you get put into some hard times, understand that God is alive and God sees all things and He will never let go of you and never take you through to the point that you will break. You just got to rely on Him. No, what He allows you to do, He asks you to do, He'll give you the strength. And He'll provide the deliverance for what is needed to get you through. Same with Abraham. He provided the deliverance of the ram to get him through. Now, even if the ram didn't come, I believe he would have went through with it because he knew the Father. He knew the word and the promises of yes and amen, and he knew that if he killed his son, God would have to raise him back to life again. Did you hear that? Because he trusted Him, because He gave him a word. Some scholars say they were up to 50 years waiting for this child to come along. And they prayed and they were past their childbearing age. And here's the son, the miracle child, the gift. The person who was the father of many nations going to take on. And the son was going to come into it and take on all these nations. And if God took him away, He would have to resurrect him. That's powerful. What God said over your life will not come back void. See, it gets held back because what happens is we give up on it. We give up on our commitment to see it through, and we give up on the commitment of believing what God said will come true. And that's important that we keep strong in that. You know, I believe it's easier to die for someone than to watch someone you love die. Think about it. Would you die for your child or rather see them die? See, here's Abraham. Don't you think he would have said, please just let me be the person. Let me take the place. It's so much as the type of how God is, the Father, and seeing His Son die, how heart-wrenching and how hard it would have been to see the Son die. But then you can look at it as the type of what Christ did. You see, Christ saw all mankind dying, the ones that He loved, the cherished ones, you and me, treasures. And He hurt Him so much, He said, I'd rather die than see them die. That's the love of the Father. That's the love of Jesus Christ. God demands commitments from us in all areas of our life. And I believe that, and also I've experienced it through my life, that He'll take you to a place that He may test you just to find out your willingness in your heart. Are you willing to lay a certain thing down in your life? Are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to do the word that He gives you to do? Will you give it up if He asks you to give it up? And I've found many times in my life when I lay it down to Him, He doesn't want it anyway. And He just changes His mind. He's been there so many times. And when you fight and scream and everything, He'll just keep going down that track. I believe without a doubt that rich young ruler. Then when, he said, you've done all this stuff, great, you've pleased me, now go and sell everything and give to the poor. I believe without a doubt if he went through with that, I reckon he would just be multiplied in wealth because I believe he had a gift of wealth on his life. You see, you can't outgive God and you cannot outgive Him when you do His will. He will always come through for you and He'll always look after you because the mountain was called Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. And that's one of the characteristics of our Father. That is one of the characteristics that we can bank on and we can have faith in to know that He will come through for you. No matter what. It's easy for us in the Western world to say, yes, He comes through because we have all these great things and whatever else. But at the end of the day, we have to do where we have to be and we have to walk with our salvation with fear and trembling and also be in that way that we are looking out and caring for other people and do it in prayer and faith and so on. We had a guy We had some police come in this week to our food bank. We had a guy come into the food bank and he said to me at the reception, he said, I bet you don't get many people come in with the police escort, do you, to get food? I said, no. So I saw the police car sitting in the car park and the cops sitting out there, and so I decided to go and have a talk with them. And he said to me, the young fella, the guy, he's been sleeping homeless with his family in a tent in the bush, hadn't had a shower for ages and so on. And he said he's walking along the street and the police pulled up and said, Mark, such and such. And he goes, well, what have I done now? You know? And he's been clean for years. And he said, we have to pick you up and take you to the Rock for food. Isn't that amazing? 2 police. And he said, what are you doing that for? He said, because our superior told us to, and we've got to help you out. And they brought him here, and not only that, they provided a home for him at Wynnum for his family. They arranged a home, and they put him into the caravan park for a couple of days with his family. Now they're going to a home in Wynnum. Isn't that great? See, God does provide. And he came here and he was so overjoyed. It may not be the way that you think it will be provided, but it'll be provided. The Lord may ask you to do something for you, but you need to say, here I am, Lord. Here I am, Lord. Or you say, Lord, am I here? Am I here? Am I believing this? And you say, Lord, I am here. Whatever you call me to do at a moment's notice, I will obey. And that is where the victory and the power is within your prayer and within your walk of life, is obedience, submission to God, and understanding who He is, so we can learn by faith and obey Him and stretch ourselves. If you're not stretching yourself, then you're not living the full Christian life.